This is recording to the cloud. This is week four. This is part two of week four, and I am thrilled, delighted, very appreciative of the people who've come in for our guests, both this morning in part one, which we heard of Beyond Eight Schools, and it was a great session that demonstrated certain principles of learning and the creation of learning environments. And our guests actually had designed a couple different frameworks that they shared with us. Wing was here with us this morning. A couple others of you were with us. Yal was with us this morning. Galton was with us this morning. And Warner Colley was with us this morning. And maybe a couple of others. Virginia was with us this morning. So thanks for coming back this afternoon as well. I think a couple others were with us today. So, Sung Hee from Korea too. Anyways, tonight promises to be another amazing show. Well, it's class. We're going to hear about a fantastic project from some super energized friends of mine who were on Silver Lining for Learning, my podcast show, a year and a half ago, who came to a conference that I helped run. It's going to be in a month in Bangkok, but they came last year to Singapore and presented. They came to Japan a year and a half ago and presented. And I've heard a bit about their schools that they've designed, and you're going to hear about it as well, because they have created the Advantage Digital Learning System, or ELDS, and you'll hear about the mission and history of that. In particular, you'll discover how ELDS provides digitally operated one-room schoolhouses for underprivileged out-of-school children. It operates what's called digitally operated one-room schoolhouses, or DOORS, the DOORS network, providing free international quality and inclusive education to underprivileged and out-of-school children at the doorstep, and suited to their social, cultural, and financial challenges and limitations. So with us tonight are my good friends. We'll start off with John Mason, who is at Charles Darwin University. As he talked about, they're having graduation today. They just had their first rainstorm in 6 months, so he's feeling very happy to see the rain come down. He's been at Charles Darwin for about 14 years there, and he does a lot of work in digital forms of learning and knowledge management, helping both the government sector and educational sectors out for decades. ICT collaborative projects for Australian government and training sector. He's part of many editorial boards, and he'll talk about what his role has been in this big project. Abha Gupta is an educator at Old Dominion University, who back the last time I saw her on screen, she was working on two books and heading to Harvard for a sabbatical. She's got one of those books done, and she's going to hold that up. It's a diversity, equity, and inclusion book. It's an edited book. She's got a second book that she's working on, and she'll talk about that in a second. So she provides more of the literacy and reading components to this project. You can read about her bio that I sent to all of you. It's quite long and extended. Let's just say she's been contributing to the field for a long time. Fazl bin Bader, I think, recently got his doctorate there at Charles Darwin. He's kind of the brains behind Advantage Digital Learning System. It's trying to revolutionize education for underprivileged children around the world, using his 30 years of experience in ed tech, as well as engineering, project management, business, entrepreneurship. He has taken his final stage of his PhD project and turned it into a vision, his mission to help less fortunate people out who are marginalized, in creating the DOORS, the digitally operated one-room schoolhouse network, to help students out. He's got his goal is to provide not just one school, but multiple schools in many locations to help youth out, to help women out, to get people employable skills. His vision doesn't stop at education. He aims to empower the entire community by giving them employment skills, also leadership skills, and in particular, ethical leadership skills. So I will stop with my introduction at that point and just say our R622 class and alums of this class and friends of mine who are here are privileged and honored that you could join us today. Um, I think maybe we go to Ava first because you're about the went over and grabbed your book and traveled all the way down. Can you hold it up again and tell us a bit about your role in this project and what what these books are about? And you're muted, by the way, so you have to unmute.
Yes, sure. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. And hi to everyone. Good to see you all again, especially John. Hi, Faisal. Hi, and Kurt. Always good to see you. And Kurt, I want you to say that next time you see Chris and Punya, say our hello because it was nice to interact with them in that Silver Lining Project podcast of yours. So here is this book. Very excited. This book just came out, and I think it's very timely. We actually really need this right now. The title of the book is Understanding Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Policies and Practices. So, this is an edited book by Smita Sinha, Abha Gupta, and Pradeep Kumar Mishra. Now, this book has multiple contributors, and without whom this book would not have been possible. And two of those contributors, authors, are with us today. So Faisal is here, and John Mason. They are both. They have contributed significantly to this book. And let me tell you about the foreword is by Pamela Mason of Harvard University. So she's a literacy professor there. And the book has four sections. So, section one is on conceptualizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Section two is about policies on equity and inclusion. Section three is about equality, equity, and inclusive society. And finally, last section is on gender inclusion and empowerment. So just multiple articles. Now, this is not yet on Amazon, and the publishers are working on making it available on Amazon. It is available on the Indian version of Amazon, which is called Flipkart. So we just found out that it's now there, but it will also be available in Amazon. So that's this book, and I have another book on policies and practices for English language learners. And that one is basically focusing on pedagogy and instructional strategies. So that's briefly about me, and my role in this project is as a advisory board. I am the chair of the advisory board, the committee now. It's and we have multiple international members who are part of the advisory board, and I will talk more about it later. But I will stop here. So thank you.
So Predeep, your co-editor, I think he was on our show, on our podcast show. I'm not positive. What's Predeep's last name? Is it Mishra?
Mishra, he's also Mishra, yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. Who's the publisher of that book that came out?
So that is by Dominant Publishers. So that is the name of the publisher, Dominant Publishers and Distributors Private Limited.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
John,
you.
can you fill out your role in the project a little bit and expand on the bio uh, and what your background is?
Yes, I can do that, Kurt. Thanks for warming up the microphone.
Oh, and by the way, if anyone's ever heard of the Horizons Report, John is one of the contributors to the annual, very widely acclaimed report called Horizons, which is free. That was the first time I met John when we brought him in as one of the contributors to Horizon. Anyways, sorry to interrupt. It just popped in my head. Go ahead, John.
That's all right, Kurt. It's lovely to see you again. Lovely to talk with you. Nice to meet all your students. Nice to see you, Abba and Faisal. Also nice to see the cat there, Virginia. Uh, my cat is just outside. He's wanting to come inside, but anyway, he's not attending the session this morning. So look, I'm just an academic, I guess, at Charles Darwin University. I work in education and IT at the nexus of IT in education. I hope you can all understand my Australian English here. You will get used to it. So yeah, look, as Kurt said, I've been at Charles Darwin for 14 years, but I've got a bit of a backstory. I used to be a music teacher a long time ago, and somewhere along the way in the 1980s, somebody showed me that you could connect an electronic keyboard to a computer, and I just could not believe what was happening. And that was the first big change in my life, and that's where my career started to change, and I got involved in IT. I went back to university to study up about computers, and this was long before the web was happening. It was also at the time when CDs were just coming on board, and I've seen a few changes. I've seen a few revolutions in the digital environment, and it continues to roll on. I'm just totally amazed at what continues to happen in the world that we're needing to come to terms with, but both from a disruptive perspective and from an enabling perspective. So, in terms of this particular project, it goes back about 6 years. Faisal came to me, and he came with a question. He wanted to do a PhD, and his question was, why is it that all the high glam projects around the world, like one laptop per child run out of MIT and many others like them, only seem to survive for a couple of years? We hear about them, we hear about the good intentions, we hear about what these people are trying to achieve, these big tech-driven solutions that sound like they're positioned to solve the big problems in the world. One of the big problems in the world, which is, there's 20% of kids statistically at the moment, 1 in 5 around the world doesn't have access to formal education. So this problem's been existing for some time, and it hasn't been solved yet. And so Faisal and I had some discussions about this, what's possible, and we set out a bit of a research agenda to check a few things out. It wasn't long before Faisal actually had a revelation after one of his first field trips back to Pakistan. And that was identifying that there's some community infrastructure that's common all around the world. It's called the one-room schoolhouse, and he figured out that this was a place where the community actually gravitated to and engaged in at this venue for education purposes, for all kinds of purposes. This is where the community comes together and sustains itself, and so Faisal thought, well, he needs to engage the community, and so he engaged some of the local communities, talking about what they wanted with education and all these things, and found out not really to his surprise, but he found out pretty soon that enlisting the support of local stakeholders is kind of an important thing to do. And this important thing that he did was actually not done with a lot of the big high-tech solutions previously. All the other big projects were tech-driven. It was all about the technology. For Faisal, this project began with talking to the community and trying to connect community needs with technology capabilities. It was a pretty simple realization when you think about it now, but before he had it, it was kind of a wicked problem to solve, and so that's where it started. I took on the role of supervising Faisal, and we've had an incredible journey with this, and I'm sure Faisal is going to fill in all the interesting bits and pieces when he speaks.
So before he jumps in here, I just want to tell Mangwan, you have been made a co-host just in case I get disconnected, so you can let people in here who come in from time to time. Just go ahead and you can help me out. Thank you, Mangwan.
I will
She
do
used
that.
to be my thank you. She used to be my TA. She knows my style. A couple things, Faisal, to keep in mind, and John and Awa, is this class is called Learning Environment Design. And I'm really interested in what things, and we'll come back to this. I want you to go ahead and do your planned introduction, Fazil, and what you've scoped out some things you've sent me. But really, what are the principles behind this that make it successful or that you're still working on? That's one of the key things. The second thing, do you have any, this morning they showed us a 2-minute video of their project, which was really got all the things together. Do you have a short video of anything to share with us or any websites you can share with us? I couldn't find the website, so that's a second thing. And last, if you could talk to us a bit about scope, like how many schools, how many countries, or intended scope, and that kind of thing. So those are some of the things, and I'll have much more to ask about as we proceed here. But Fazil, why don't you fill in the gaps in what I mentioned for your bio, and then uh, fill in some of the gaps in terms of the project.
Okay, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Faisal, and I'm working under Dr. John and Abha. Uh, John was my PhD supervisor as well as one of the important component director of the company. Abha is the head of international committee. So let me share with you what EDLS, the doors concept is, and how we are progressing. But before that, I would like to share one thing with all of you, because it is learning environment design class. So I must share with you one of the very important outcome of my whole PhD is that education, the problem of education, the gaps, the challenges of education, I learned that cannot be fulfilled by technology, by education technology, by providing resources, by providing laptops, by providing gadgets, even by providing the learning content. It cannot be solved. If it would have been solved maybe 20, 30 years back, we were thinking like that, but now we know that if it would have been solved by providing the content or the gadgets, the projects like one laptop per child or the websites like Khan Academy could have solved the issue. So the problem is much bigger than that. That was my first understanding regarding the problem of education, and based on that, then I started digging into how education was happening when there was no connection, when there was no a formal schooling system. And then we came up with a concept of one room schoolhouses, the seasoned, the centuries tested concept, where any wise person in a community gathers all the children in a community center or a room and then deliver whatever wisdom they have. So that was the basic concept of one room schoolhouses. So what we did is that we picked up from that concept and we created a complete system. Like when I say complete system, it's not just a set of gadgets, it's not just a set of content, it's not just a set of teachers even. It is a comprehensive system in a sense that it has active involvement of the local stakeholders and a very integrated system where global team connects with the local team there and understand their problems, their challenges, their needs, and then design the system accordingly. That is where the comprehensiveness and the completeness of the systems comes into play. So every stakeholder is an active stakeholder and participates actively in the whole process. So that was one thing that I realized during my PhD, and then try to implement that. And alhamdulillah, it has been implemented successfully now. So let me formally share with you what EDLS is and how it works. Can I share my screen, Kurt?
I can make you a co-host if needed, but try without making a co-host. I think you should be able to. And can I ask when you defended your dissertation?
You on mute, Faisal?
Okay, you're sharing this screen.
Just 1 minute.
Sure. Fazil, when did you defend your dissertation? How long ago? Was it this year? Oh, that's me again.
Yes, it was, Kurt.
Okay.
Some problem with that. Well, anyway, yeah, I got
Okay.
my final transcript that I have qualified my PhD in July, 2 months back.
Okay, so we can give you
Yeah,
a big
it's
round of applause, everyone. That's
very
you know,
recent for me.
so
And then
yes.
the graduation still has to happen next month. So next month will be the graduation. So I'm a very new PhD.
So would you like to give me the link and I can try and share my screen if you put the link in the chat window, maybe?
No, I can share. I believe I'll
You're
try
just showing the
again.
wrong screen, sharing the wrong screen, Faisal, that's all. It happens
Yeah.
to the best of us.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go to this one. Can you
There
see
we
my
go.
screen now?
Yep, we got it. Okay.
Perfect, perfect. So this is what digital advantage digital learning system is. It is EDLS stand for Advantage Digital Learning System, and DOORS stands for Digitally Operated One Room Schoolhouse. I will cover very quickly how we are making it happen. So visually in a picture, as we say that a picture shows what 1,000 words cannot show. So this is what we do. We go to these type of communities, underprivileged areas, communities, those who do not have the privilege of education, and then we transform those communities children, and now after with the children, youth and women of those communities, and transform them into learned and skilled part of those communities. How do we do that? Just a brief about EDLS. It's an innovative and global initiative providing low cost and high impact education. This is very important component. It's a very low cost and very high impact education. I'll tell you how. And a skill to underprivileged communities. Our mission is to deliver 21st century learning to children, youth, and women through a free, inclusive approach that maintains international quality standards. So our vision is to empower communities where children, women, and youth are equipped with strong character, global skills, and values, enabling them to thrive in the modern world. And how do we do that? Our mission is to provide accessible education, skill training, and well-being services that transform underserved community. Our values are integrity, commitment, passion, ethics, humility, and respect. All right, so now moving to the real component, what we do. We go to the communities, we find out where there is a need. There are no schools over there, there's no community programs for the community people over there. Then we start with our education program for the kids, that is classroom, this first one here, where we provide quality education to out of school children. Our criteria for giving admission to any child is that they should be the neediest one in the community, like the orphans, like broken family, children from broken family, financially handicapped families, or anyone who cannot afford to go to school because of any financial, cultural, or social reason. So we established classrooms over there for the children. And very recently, we have started other programs like Global Skills for the Youth, Empowerment for Women, and Community Health and Wellbeing initiatives. But I'll go into detail of this classroom because the learning design concept for the classroom is very unique, and it's a very low cost and high impact, as I told you before. So I'll go into detail of this classroom, and afterwards at the end briefly touch the youth and women program as well.
Well, before you go to the next slide, Fazal, can you go back?
Yeah.
Is this all within Pakistan, or are you in India or Bangladesh or other countries, or what currently, and then your future goals?
Well, at present, it is in Pakistan. It is in Pakistan, and we started one program in Tanzania as well. And we are in communication with collaborators and stakeholders in different countries like in India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Kenya, Ghana, uh, Pacific Islands. So a lot of countries are interested, collaborators in a lot of countries are interested in opening the similar projects in their countries. And we are trying to find ways for the funding and the local understanding. And so that's how we are going. It is a
So,
global program. It can be implemented anywhere in the world. That is the beauty of this program.
so I'm laughing now because on the one hand, you're inspiring my doctoral students and having them think about their dissertations, what they can do, and the sky's the limit given what you've done in your dissertation. On the other hand, they're saying, I can't, it's going to be real difficult to have something as, significantly impactful as that. But yours is an unusual one. I haven't seen many that, are trying to change countries and educational systems. I mean, that's not the norm. So any doctoral students here, don't get too worried that you have to try and do something on this scale. But if you want to try, by all means, try. Anyhow, I had to stop you there because I wanted to get a little sense of the context. You're working in basically, it sounds like 15 more countries in addition to Pakistan. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, maybe next time when we meet again, I'll tell you that these many countries have already been added. So we are looking for that. Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, what is a classroom? Classroom is a concept where we are providing free international quality inclusive education to underprivileged out of school children at their doorstep, and the education that is suited to their socio-cultural and financial challenges. Now, when I say that suited to their socio-cultural and financial challenges, I can tell you that gender gap in education in these underprivileged areas is a serious, significant issue. And I can say that we have overcome this problem. And just yesterday, I was looking at my dashboard, and the statistics say that 70% of our registered students are girls and women. So that means they have a confidence, they don't have a social, cultural issue in coming to schools. That is the beauty of this system, that 70% are girls. Okay, so very quickly, I'll move ahead with the executive summary. At present, the world is like that. 250 million children are out of school globally. And this is a big challenge for SDG 4 goal. At present, we are operating 14 campuses in the classroom and 6 in the CTP area, the community transformation. So we have 20 centers at present all over Pakistan. Just a picture of the culture that we are dealing with, the children we are dealing with. And one thing that I learned in the beginning, that why education technology or edtech failed for the poor, because normally the solutions are initiated by the developed countries and imported without context awareness, and the result is either a failure or too expensive for those countries to sustain those challenges. That is why based on this thing, we ensured that our solution is not just developed in a developed country and not suited to the local context, and it should be a low cost solution. So based on these three understanding areas, we establish our solution. And another thing that we need to understand, that why education is difficult in the rural and remote areas, because there's a high infrastructure cost. The money is a serious problem for building a school. Then even the bigger problem is availability of quality teachers in those schools. Is in those areas, we don't get qualified and experienced teachers in those areas. And the third problem is that as the parents are also uneducated, they don't know the importance of education. So it's very difficult for a parent to convince them that children education is very important, and it's the children's involvement in the family work is not as important, but for longer term, children education will pay them back in a much higher manner. And then in the absence of effective monitoring mechanism, what happens is that maybe on the paper there is a school, there are teachers, there are students, but practically nothing is happening. So these are the four difficulties when we are dealing with the education in the rural and remote areas. And based on the understanding of these three, high tech, ed tech, failures and the problems in this education, rural education in rural areas, we designed our model in a way that overcome all these problems. And what the solution is, in the classroom, what we do is that the problem of high infrastructure cost has been dealt with a concept of one room schoolhouse. That is only one room in those rural remote areas. We don't need big buildings. We don't need big infrastructure cost and maintenance cost. Just one room in that community. So for the non-availability of quality teachers, what we did, we created a model of a central team. A central team is a digitally connected team from all over the world, and they act as a central team, and they comprises the qualified and experienced teacher. That means in that particular local community, we don't need a complete group of teachers. It is just one facilitator in that community that acts as a bridge between this central team and the students. I will tell you this concept in detail afterwards. Then regarding lack of parents awareness, what we do is that before enrolling a child in our school, we do regular and continuous discussions with parents, at least 4 to 6 meetings with the parents to convince them that education is important for their children. And after convincing the parents only, we induct the child. For the lack of effective monitoring, what we do is that it is all our schools are real time monitored through the cameras, Wi-Fi cameras connected in each campus. So we are so much quality focused for these schools that our central monitoring team, camera monitoring team, even watches that if one child is bullying the other child, the team immediately tells the teacher, "Oh, look at that boy! He's bullying the other boy." Or if the teacher is not has not written anything correct on the board, we prompt that. So we just don't leave the school on that local teacher, because we understand that they're not the qualified and experienced teachers. We monitor in real time. That is how we came across all the challenges that we identified in the current traditional education process. Moving
Again,
forward, this
Fazal,
is one of the picture. Yeah,
Fazal, before
yeah,
you, Maria has a quick question for you. It won't take you long to answer her
sure.
question, so I thought I'd give her a chance. Maria?
Yeah, quick question. Since it's such a remote rural areas, do you have any issues with internet availability, since everything has to be run through some centralized location? Like, how do you go about this problem?
Yes, we have in ADLS, we have an online component of education, offline component of education, and even we have designed a model for areas where even the electricity is not there, the book base. But at present, we are picking up the areas where at least electricity and internet is there. Even electricity is not there, we are working through the solar system and UPS, but internet is there. Luckily, Pakistan has 80% of the areas which is at least 4G connected. So we are working on that. But we have online model for those areas where internet is not available.
When you say working with the solar system, means working with Jupiter and Mars and Venus? No, it's solar panels, I'm sure.
Yeah, solar panels. Sorry, not solar system, solar panel system. You're right.
And
I can see one more raised hand.
yeah, Corinne, you have a quick question?
Yeah, I want to say thanks for raising this point. Just in terms of edtech perspective, we had a client in Africa, and we had to revisit how the page were loaded for a low internet, and then we were able to kind of like distribute the software, a peer learning tool software, in a low queue distribution, and reduce like the page to be accessible for the poor community, or the community who do not have like high speed internet. So I like that. I like your point of failure, Faisal or Dr. Faisal, but some edtech are mindful of it, and they implement some change to make sure there is no failure on that one.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your
And
comment.
we've lost
Uh,
your presentation. You've
yeah, I'm coming back to that.
okay.
I'm just looking
And
at, there's another
let's
question.
go to Wing's question real quick before you continue. Wing.
Yeah, so these four to six conversation with the parents are within 1 month. So 1 month before we enroll a child, we start conversation with the parents. It's a month-long process where we convince the parents and then go to the enrollment of the child.
But
Wing is in Singapore. Do you want to, did that answer your question, Wing?
Hi, yeah. Okay, thanks for answering the question. So it's with 1 month before the student is enrolled into the course, there will be 4 to 6 conversations with the parents, right? And
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
yeah, may I ask who is the one I understand this is a free, it's not chargeable to the students and parents. Who is the one providing the fund?
I'll come to that. So that I don't want to just disclose the surprise right now. So at the end, I will discuss about the financials. Okay.
That was
Thanks.
my question too. So, okay, you can go back to the
Okay.
slides.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Sure. So that's where I will invite all of you at the end. Okay, so coming to our point of difference. So what we do is that it's a grassroots level. That means we involve people actively at the grassroots level, and it's a low cost and high impact education. Remember these three words because I'll be repeating these three concepts again and again. Grassroots level involvement, low cost and high impact education model with active involvement of local stakeholders, and it's an integration of centuries tested one room schoolhouse model and contemporary education technology solution. So again, these two concepts, one room schoolhouse model and education technology solution, how we integrated that, I will explain it to you just in the next slide. And it's a blended learning model, so where multi-level and multi-age children being taught in a single room. That means it's not a year level division like we do in our schools. The multi-level students are sitting there, and teachers are especially trained to deal with multi-level children simultaneously. And the blended learning means there is some learning done through that local facilitator and some learning done through the online teacher. I will explain that as well. Okay, so here comes the whole crux of the model. There is a central team, a global team that is, interestingly, we don't have any office anywhere in the world. Everybody works from home. And that this central team is located centrally, like Abhay is there, John is there, I am here, our team in Pakistan. So we have for around 50 full-time employees and around 50 advisors and volunteers and subject matter experts all around the world. That is what whole team is, around 50 full-time employees and same number of advisors and subject matter experts. So this central team is the nerve center of the whole EDLS concept. They do all the campus management work, they do all the curriculum and lesson planning, teachers' professional development, connecting advisors and collaborators, administrative functions, and training and professional development. So every schooling work, every intellectually required in schooling work is done by this central team. They are digitally connected from anywhere in the world, and what happens and on ground. There is a local team. A local team comprises of two members only. One is the local partner. We call them campus administrator. He is the first person and the eyes and ears and the connection between the community, the parents and the community, and our central team. He goes to the community, find out and search for the needy children. For the first step we do is that we go to the community and see if it is actually required or not, because we have limited funds and we do not want to waste funds on any community where there is no need of a school. So we go to the communities, find out the neediest children, then communicate with the parents, and all the community engagement and the parents engagement is done by that local person who is our first point of contact in that community, and that is called local administrator. Then we find out a room to make a one room schoolhouse there, and find out a campus facilitator. So campus facilitator is a person, any girl or boy, preferably girls, maybe year 10 qualified or year 12, whatever best we can get in any campus. And then we appoint them, train them very extensively for around 40-45 days on how to teach, what to teach, how to deal with multi-level students, how to deal with the technology, because normally these are the people, they may have not touched the smartphone even in their lives. And then we need to connect them with the camera, with laptops, with screens, with all the gadgets and all the digital resources and data connectivity, a lot of learning for them in 40-45 days before they start working. So that is how the whole concept works. So this team trains this local team for everything, designs everything, curriculum, lesson plan, and then provide to this local facilitator. That local facilitator only delivers what the central team prepares. And then after delivery, the local team, the local facilitator sends all the students' work to the central team as well. And our students archive is designed in such a way that if you ask me now that maybe from campus number 1, student roll number 123, 16th January, what they did in their classwork in English, I can just show it to you right now. So we have archived every student's every day's every subject work in such a manner. So we don't leave the students' quality of education to this local facilitator, because we understand that they're not experienced, they're not qualified. So we take the control of the quality of education in this central team. That is where the whole magic happens. Let me move ahead, and I'll answer to I understand
Fazil?
that there will be many questions. I'll answer your questions at the end. Yes, please.
Fazil,
Yeah.
we'll hold off on Arpita's question, but I think Callie has a quick question that we can answer.
Sure, please.
She has two questions. Why don't you ask one of those now and one of those later, Callie?
Okay, I think I got an answer for the second one on chat. Can you explain student enrollment and if you ever have to turn students away just due to the size of the one-room classrooms and just the resources, etc.?
Mhm. Okay, so very quickly, the student enrollment age is minimum is 6, and there is no maximum age. We have women at the age of 30, 35. They have been enrolled in kindergarten because they have never been to school and they wanted to. They want women with children are also getting education. There is no maximum age. There is minimum age, that is 6 years. And we prefer students who have never been to school because of their local reasons, and we prefer those children. And regarding the resources, I'll come to the resources afterwards. And the next slide is, I think, is regarding the resources that we through which we teach them. Okay, so this is a quick snapshot of how we establish the new campus. First step is, as I told you, local partner, then area survey, then interaction with the local community, and then alignment with the local curriculum. These are the 4 steps we do, and these are the steps we need to do anywhere in the world to enter into any local community. Then through the campus opening process, we do the community resource assessment, material need assessment, then engaging parents and students, campus facilitator appointment, premises classroom, capturing any room over there, and then classroom material, which require all the technology and educational material. And accordingly, we do the parent session, student enrollment, facilitator selection, facilitator training, room selection, room decoration, educational material, technology. So this is the whole model of how we establish a new campus. Moving ahead, this is what the curriculum is. So the curriculum is designed divided into 3 phases. Traditional method, that means we have classwork, homework, assessments, and all those. They're just like any normal school work. So what we do is that this is dealt by the local facilitator, this traditional method. And then there is a component of 21st century learning method, where all the 21st century learning is done, and this is done by the online teachers, qualified teachers. And then there is the ethical and moral education method, where we do the religious education, the stories, and the ethical development of the child. So the traditional methods includes morning activities, then teaching of English, the national language Urdu, mathematics. This is done. These are all prepared by lesson plans, and everything content is prepared by the central team but delivered by the local facilitator. When it comes to the 21st century learning model, it is smart, like we do smart maths on the abacus. I'll show you. They do the abacus beats. They do the AI and coding classes. They do project-based learning, STEM, spoken English classes, inquiry-based learning, sustainability, logical reasoning, arts and craft project. And similarly, the ethical and moral education. So that's how the education is the curriculum is divided into these of the three components. And that's why I said that it is a high impact model, because these 21st century learning methods are not even taught in many elite schools in the country. I'll show you, okay, very quickly. I think this is the right time to show you at this stage how we do. It's a small video. I want to show it show it to you over here, and it will help you understand. Okay, so I think for this one, I need to.
You might have to optimize sound and optimize video when you share your screen.
Yes, that's what I'm doing is that I'm going to share with video with the sound, so my sound will not be coming for this duration.
And it's a good sign as we roll along, we're having more and more people join. So thank you, Randy, for joining us from China, and for others of you who woke up early in China and joined us.
Just a small disclaimer before I run this video, that some of the content is in Urdu, the local language, but the subtitle will be there, so you'll have to read the subtitle to understand that. There are some small interviews and some something in Urdu as well. So I'm starting to share it again.
EDLS, एक सोच, एक ख्वाब और अब एक हकीकत। ये सिलसिला शुरू होता है इस सोच और ख्वाब से कि मुफ्त और मयारी तालीम के दरवाजे यकसा तौर पर तमाम स्कूल ना जाने वाले बच्चों के लिए खोल दिए जाएं। पाकिस्तान में लाखों बच्चे अपने नामसाइद हालात की बिना पर तालीम का सिर्फ ख्वाब ही देख सकते हैं। जहाँ 2 वक्त की रोटी मैसर ना हो, वहाँ तालीम की ख्वाहिश भी बोझ लगने लगती है।
मैंने इस सफ़र का आगाज़ कुछ साल पहले किया। बस एक जज्बा था कि किसी तरह स्कूल ना जाने वाले बच्चों को तालीम दी जा सके। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आज दुनिया भर से 50 से ज़ायद प्रोफेशनल्स, एजुकेशनिस्ट और रिसर्चर्स मेरे इस सफ़र में मेरे साथ हैं। EDLS का करिकुलम हमने इस तरीके से डिज़ाइन किया है जो कि इन नन्हे जहनों को बाशऊर शहरी बनाने में और ग्लोबली कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोफेशनल बनाने के अंदर, पॉजिटिवली थिंकिंग प्रोफेशनल बनाने में मदद करेगा।
इसको ज्वाइन करने का एक बहुत अहम मकसद ये था कि इसका कॉज बहुत बड़ा है। हम ये चाहते हैं कि जो बच्चे हैं उनको वो क्वालिटी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड की जाए फ्री में, जो कि किसी भी इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड को मीट कर सके, जो भी किसी भी आप कंपेयर कर सकें किसी अच्छे स्टैंडर्ड के साथ।
EDLS मैंने ज्वाइन जब किया था तो मुझे पता चला कि यहाँ पर सिर्फ अल्लाह की रज़ा के लिए काम किया जाता है और उसकी खुशनुदी मकसूद होती है। तो मैं बहुत मुतासिर हुई और फिर मैंने EDLS ज्वाइन किया।
EDLS से जुड़ने का मेरा मकसद सिर्फ ये था कि इनका मिशन और विज़न मुझे बहुत मुतासिर किया।
EDLS में आने का सबसे बड़ा मकसद यही था कि अल्लाह ताला की रज़ा हासिल करनी थी, और इसके साथ साथ जो चीज़ ने मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा मुतासिर किया है वो ये है कि यहाँ पर मल्टीग्रेड सिस्टम फॉलो किया जाता है जो आम स्कूलों में मैंने नहीं देखा।
EDLS बाकी स्कूलों से मुख्तलिफ क्यों है? वो इसलिए EDLS जो है वो बच्चों को उनके जहन के हिसाब से पढ़ाते हैं। मतलब एक वक्त में बच्चे जितना सीख सकते हैं उन्हें उतनी ही स्पीड से उन्हें आगे लेकर जाते हैं।
ईडीएलएस बाकी स्कूलों के मुकाबले में इसीलिए भी अलग है क्योंकि यहाँ पे बच्चों को तालीम के साथ साथ अच्छी तरबियत भी दी जाती है।
ईडीएलएस के साथ मेरा ये सफ़र बहुत अच्छा रहा है और मैं आज भी इस सफ़र की साथी हूँ और अपने काम को सरअंजाम दे रही हूँ।
हम इस जद्दोजहद को यहाँ तक ले आए हैं, अब हमें ज़रूरत है आपकी, आपके साथ की, आपके एफर्ट्स की, आपके डोनेशंस की, आपके नेटवर्क्स की, ताकि हम इन बच्चों को मुल्क के कोने कोने तक और दुनिया के दूसरे हिस्सों में तालीम मुहैया कर सकें। ये बीज जो आज हम बोएंगे, ये इंशाअल्लाह एक शजरदार दरख्त के तौर पे मौजूद होगा और ये इन बच्चों को दुनिया में इनका मकाम दिलाने में हेल्प करेगा और ये हमारे और आपके बच्चों के लिए सदका जारिया के तौर पे सवाब का बाइस होगा। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Okay, coming back. So this is what I hope the video explains many things to you. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. So let me tell you while I'm moving again to my presentation that this EDLS concept is now you must have understood that it's not just a normal school. It's not something that provides basic education only. It is a transformational process where we are connecting these children to become globally competitive children. This is one thing. It's not a normal school, it's a very high impact school. The other thing is that it is not only it's not only for Islamic education or Islamic teaching or only for Muslims. We have students, we have Christian students, we have Hindu students, and it is for all of them. That's why we are going to the countries which are not Muslim countries, so it can be adapted at any place. That is what EDLS is. All right, moving forward very quickly. I think because of the shortage of time, I'll cut down with my some of the things. I'll just show you.
Faisal, that one that was there in purple that had the numbers, the growth
Yeah,
one.
I'll show you the latest numbers.
That would be
I'll show
good.
you the latest dashboard, and that will show you the numbers.
Mhm.
But here we started with the idea generation in 2016, then initial activities, project research begins. And today we are here with the global impact, our vision 2030, that I'll show you where we want to be by 2030 and 2035 in my next slides. Here it is. So our vision 2030 is to impact at least 100,000 lives in 500 different communities in the world, and with the fund utilization of around 100 million, and with a team of 500 members. That is what we are looking at. This is our vision for 2030 with these different projects in mind. So hopefully we'll work on that. With that, I'll show you where we are at present. So this is the latest dashboard of where we are. We have total around registrations of more than 1500 registrations, and then we have 15 campuses. You can see the campuses over here, all the 15 campuses in the classroom. Then active community transformation program where we are teaching the youth and women about basic computer skills, basic English, crochet, henna art, self grooming, and different, so that they can be employable at global and local levels. So what else before I move back? Yes. All right. Okay. Here. How you can create a difference. You can create a difference, and I invite here all of you to be part of EDLS. It's a global program, it's a universal program. It's not my program, it's not our program. It's a program of anyone who wants to contribute through your experience, through your networking, through your intellectual value, through your donations, whatever way you can contribute, and you want to make a real impact in their lives. I started this program as a way to give back to the society about. I have been privileged, my family has been privileged with the best education and best environment throughout my life, and I wanted to give back to the society as a gratitude to the creator, and I created that. So whosoever shares my vision that we need to pay back to the society, pay back to the creator, you are all welcome to join. So very quickly, I'll tell you about the other three areas. The global skills for the youth. What we are doing is that we are providing them basic computer education, and then afterwards, in the advanced level, AI-based digital and entrepreneurial skills, so that they can become global freelancers and global entrepreneurs. That is what we are doing with the youth, especially the girls of those areas. And then women empowerment program, where we are teaching them about the locally employable skills, like I showed you about henna art, beautician courses, sewing courses, and these type of courses, so that they can be the earning members for their family. And then we do the better communities program, where we are providing physical, mental, and spiritual health, social and safety skills, and well-being awareness courses to these communities as whole. So these are the three new programs that we have started last year, and very successfully we are working on that. I can show you the statistics over here. So this is the statistics. These are the statistics, the report of the classroom students, and these are the statistics of the community transformation programs. And with this, I believe I should start working on the question and answer, because there must be many questions that we need to answer. Okay.
Yeah, and I think you've
No.
got a lot more that we could be chewing on and thinking about in the slides. So if you could can you send me a copy of your slides that I can forward to the students?
Of course, yeah, I can share that with you. I can share the links, and I'll share the links of our website and all the media, social media, and I can share the link to the slides as well.
That'd be
So,
great.
open to question and answer.
I have one, but I'm gonna hold mine off. I know we don't have much time left here, but I want to make sure the people who participate can ask a question. And Arpita, I cut her off before. I also see Garen has joined us. He was here this morning as well. And we have others that have posted questions for you. So we'll have we have more than enough questions. So who would like to jump in here first?
When the first question
So can I?
was
Yeah,
given by
please.
someone about the funds. I think you said you will answer this question first. So
Oh yes, yes. I skipped that slide because of the shortage of time. So basically, I started this project was started by my by the funds provided by my own pocket. I started myself. Started establishing the campuses, and it was that then when my limit exhausted, I asked some of the personal friends. So till now, phase two was that some of our friends were pulling in the money and doing that. Very recently, just last year, we got registered in Australia as a non-profit charity and in Pakistan as a non-profit charity. So now in phase three, we can go for the formal funding organizations. But before that, still now, rather I can say till now, it is just few friends who are pulling in money to do all that.
John mentioned you're applying for grants too.
Yeah, now after registration and bank accounts, now we are applying for grants as well.
Okay, who wants to jump in? I cut off Arpita. Do you want to go ahead, Arpita?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Faisal. I think you're doing an amazing work. My question is, how do you like measure the impact of the program on learners and the communities that you are serving? And out of the curriculum, all the subjects that are being offered, where did you like notice which subjects are most successful and where do you see the gaps are, and how are you like ensuring that how are you bridging that gap, for example STEM or maybe lack of lab availability? So if you can just share your thoughts on that.
Sure. So number one, about the performance measuring. we have a complete formal K-12 program. So every child, although they are going in their own pace, each child's progression is managed individually. We have a record of each child separately, but still they are going through year 1, year 2, year 3, all those programs, and it's a complete formal education K-12 program. And we provide the resources through we use Google Classroom, we use Microsoft resources, we have a complete content including the videos, books, workbooks, worksheets, and everything. So each child is performance is measured. I don't have time to explain much of that, but I can tell you that we don't just move the child to the next stage till we are satisfied that that child is has understood the has gotten the foundations. I can tell you that what we do is that after every 2 chapters of every subject, we take the test of that child to see, just a formative test, to see that if a child has understood that content, and then move them. Otherwise, we will repeat those things because we want to establish strong foundations for them. So this is the answer to the performance measuring. It's a very strong component of our system that we measure the foundations of the child and then move on. And then according to the gap analysis, and how do we cater for, yes, we have limitations, it's just one room, but we try to cover them up. Every campus, every school has a science kit. So what they do is that when I'm saying that project based learning and STEM learning, they don't read through theories of science in school, but what they do, they use the prism. They have the prisms, they see the waveguide, the color rainbow through their own eyes. They have the thermometers, they measure the temperatures, they have the magnets. So the science kit has all the required STEM things, and they practically do learn by doing the experimentation of those things. Now we are moving towards the interdisciplinary project-based learning, where a single project will have a component of STEM, sustainability, social studies, so we are moving towards interdisciplinary project-based learning. This is the level of delivery that we are doing, and we are not just imposing these things on them. Let me share with you, when we wanted to introduce AI to them, what we did is that I can show it to you. What we did is that
Hang on a second, Fazil, on that one.
Yeah.
Let's have John make a comment before he has to leave, because he has commencement to go to and other things. He's sent me a note here. John, did you want to make a comment on anything Fazil said and add to that?
Look, I know the conversation could go on and on because, and it does here. We've got lots of things to talk through, and I can see lots and lots of questions and thoughtful questions that I'm quite sure that if Faisal doesn't get to answer them all today, that we'd be quite happy to respond to all those questions and send that back to you via you, Kurt, within the next few days. I am sorry, I do have to have to move on. I have to be somewhere else shortly, so I don't know what else I can say to add to this, but I know that Faisal has got a lot more he could say. I know also that you've probably got some time constraints on your side, Kurt. But if anyone had a question of me before I leave, I'm happy to answer just right now.
And also, John, if you could put your email in the chat window, that might help too.
Yep.
So we'll have that. Again, John is with Charles Darwin University, for those who arrived a little late. And he is the advisor for Fazil, who just finished his PhD 2 months ago. So I've got 7 people listed with question. And Gulton has been waiting here with her hand up next to me, and is one of my newest visiting scholars from Turkey, and didn't ask a question this morning, so I ignored her all this morning session, so I can't ignore this afternoon or evening as well. So Galton, after Fazil finishes up about AI, you'll be next. So Fazil, you're going to mention something about AI. And thanks, John. Thanks, John, for being here. I really appreciate it. Everyone appreciates having you, John.
Thank you very
John's a
much for the
great person
opportunity.
to meet at a conference, because he'll give you excellent mentoring and suggestions and advice, because he's been around the block a few times and he has a lot of insights, let's just say. And
Thanks, Kurt.
I'll see you at the next conference, John. I hope. Fazil, you're going to talk about AI. Everyone wants to
Okay, yes, I can see
AI.
yeah. There are many questions over here, so I'll just keep it short. So when we wanted to introduce AI to these children, what we did is that we created an online class where all the campuses were online, and our AI teacher, what he did is that he asked the students, he just drew one picture, one tree, one house, and one mountain, and then asked the children, what do you want to see in this picture? So children were saying, and he was just coding and then putting in that. So amazing imagination of children. They could see the somebody said, I want to see the water, so there was a river, there were some ducks over there were some houses, there were some rainbows, there was some sunlight. So whatever they were saying, and they were actually seeing it on the screen. So that's how we inculcated the interest of AI in those children, and now they are learning the AI tools. Like for when we wanted to introduce the entrepreneurship in courses in there, what we did is that we created a small competition of entrepreneurship where we gathered school leadership, teachers, and students in one group, and there was 10 groups in such, and we provided just around $4, $4, that is 1,000 rupees in Pakistan, to each group, and we told them, whatever you want to do with this, we will come back after 15 days and we'll see what you did. And they did amazing work with those $4 only. Someone created a sort of a festival. Someone picked up some wholesale items and sold it out of the school. One group went to door to sell the things. So they did amazing entrepreneurship thing. So we believe in the practical things instead of going theoretical, so that they can learn practical skills and become globally competitive professionals. Yes, who's next question I should take?
Gulton from
Maybe Kurt, you
Turkey.
can help me with that. Yeah.
Gulton from Turkey. Yeah. Go ahead, unmute, Gulton. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Monk. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for implementing such a wonderful project and providing many children with the opportunity to receive an education. It's inspiring. Thank you. As you mentioned, you're also implementing the project in different countries and cultures. Therefore,
Yes.
you need to adapt many components such as curriculum, teacher training, and management processes, etc., according to the culture in which you provide education. What I'm curious about is when adapting your project to different cultural contexts, what aspects do you pay the most attention to? And what kinds of challenges have you encountered in this process? What challenges have you found most difficult in cultural adaptation process?
That's a very, very important question, because not only at a global scale within Pakistan, also every new area has its own culture and its own challenges and limitations, and we have to take care of that. And practically, it happened with us initially when we went to one of the areas where we wanted to establish the school. We practically had to wind up the school within hours because of some cultural tensions. So we learned it a hard way. Cultural understanding is a very important thing. So that is why I told you in the beginning that we do not enter any community as an outside organization. We first identify a local partner, and that local partner is the eyes and ears to bridge between us, our vision and mission, and their local needs and local limitations. They can be cultural limitations, they can be any of the stereotyping concepts that they have about any international NGO coming to them and all those things. So there is a local partner who communicate with it. This is the most important component whenever we are entering any community. To understand them, we have a local partner, local administrator who communicate with the community, bring them to the meetings, and then we communicate to them what do we want, how we can transform you, how we can help you. So a dialogue and communication through that local partner is very important thing. There are a lot of different cultural aspects that we need to look into whenever we enter any community, even within Pakistan or not globally. So this is regarding the cultural issues. Regarding the curriculum and educational issues, we have divided the whole set of learning components into a very modular form. That means every topic is a different module. And by and large, if we go to any other school, national curriculum or any other country, the topics are almost same. The sequencing and the placement can be different. So what we do is that we have divided into a more very modular level. I being a system engineer, I understand that how we need to divide them. So then with the help of any local teacher in that country, we redesign the sequence of delivery of those components, those lesson topics to those children, so that the national curriculum requirements are met. So that's how we do it. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, what kind of principles did you apply for this adaptation process?
Well, the principles are, first of all, as I told you, that dissecting the whole curriculum into modular level. That is the first step that we have done to make it universal. Then we have divided into corporate, then understanding any local national curriculum with the help of local teachers over there, local collaborators in that particular country, and then accordingly rebuild the whole lesson curriculum and lesson plan according to that national requirement. That is, this is the flow. So dividing them into small chunks, then at the bottom level, and then according to national level, build them according to their requirement. That's how we do that. Okay.
Thank you.
I think it was Amanda who next had her question for us. Amanda Shelby. Are you still with us?
I am. It's just my household is like in chaos and very loud right now. My questions revolve mostly around the ability to market, to recruit, establish trust. Like I find in my industry, the biggest challenge is not building the tool that's successful. It's recruiting the people to make it successful. And I don't just mean and recruiting your target audience. How have you overcome, maybe you didn't have a challenge reaching underprivileged communities from marketing strategy, from building trust that they then enroll and stay enrolled, overcome other barriers that their community inherently established that put them in an underprivileged situation? I'm more interested in how do we get access to our target learner, I guess, and what challenges you faced.
I totally agree with your comment that it's a real challenge, and I can share with you my story, our story. It has always been a challenge, and let me tell you that how we handle that. It's not only the trust of those local communities, it's the trust of the donors, it's the trust of the collaborators, it's the trust of the collaborating organizations. So a lot of different stakeholders. So and I can share with you that because of that trust that we gain in those communities, we were able to move from a classroom concept of doors concept for the children to youth programs, to women program, to community programs, because we gained the trust. How we did that? Well, the first thing was transparency, second thing was openness, and third thing was active engagement with the communities, with all the stakeholders. Transparency means, let's suppose if there's a donor, then for the donor we provide them with each and every cent of expense. Even we buy a pencil or a sharpener or an eraser, we provide them with all the evidences where their money is going, so they are confident that it is not being consumed by the service fee or anything else, but it is. And then we provide the donors with the performance and progress of the students, and they are allowed to engage with the families they are transforming. So that's how the donors are satisfied. Regarding the local communities and the students, we do active engagement with the parents and the communities. Every month there is a parents conversation well-being session, then parents teacher meeting. So communication and conversation and understanding their problems and designing, because we are an adaptable model, it's not a one size fit all type of thing, so we adapt to the local needs. That is how we have gained the trust of those.
I'm trying to see someone we haven't heard from. I know Corinne has a question, Kali has a question, and Maria does. We haven't heard from Randy yet, so I'll let her go first, and then I'll go to the other three of you. Randy. if you're still here.
I don't have a question. I'm listening.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No, and if you want to put your parrots on screen, we'd love to see them. Callie, you want to jump in here with your question?
Sure. I was wondering if you could speak to the progression of the campuses from your first one or two to what you see today, and how you and your team have been able to implement change and reflect on what's working, what's not working. And then also, did your central team and local team structure, was that always implemented from day one, or did you guys determine that you needed that and then implement it later?
Oh, well, it's a very interesting question, and I can talk for the whole day on what you're asking for, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. Regarding our progression from first campus, our first campus was in February 2021. And then for 6 months, we were just observing and implementing because we were assuming everything at that stage. And we had to change many things during those 6 months to meet the practicalities and changing our assumptions. So being an adaptable organization, for 6 months, we were dealing with all the teething issues. After 6 months, we started our second and third campus. And afterwards, finally, in next 4 years, you can see that from one campus, we are at 20 campuses. It's an exponential growth, and we find out it's a difficult. It was a difficult and always challenging time for us, but it is the passion of the team. I must say that the team is very passionate, and we are aligned to our vision that we need to deliver to these communities. We were able to cope up with these challenges. And regarding the team, and I'll quickly share with you the statistics that will help you show. Okay, so here I can show it to you. So registrations by years, it's the students registration. The first year we had 5 students, then 2021 we had 77. Next year we had 155 registrations. Next year this much, next year this much. So you can see the progression by year, how we progressed every year. So it's yearly registrations of the students, and similar for the teachers also, that we started with a team of only 3 people when we started for our first campus, and now we have team of full-time 50 employees and another 50 as volunteer, as advisors and subject matter experts and directors. So it's a very roller coaster journey for us, but we are ready for that. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Corinne has been waiting for a while. You've asked one or two earlier. You have another one.
Yeah, well, I have always had a lot of questions in my head, so I'm going to first say one statement before the questions. I don't know if you know the CEO of Passage. I'm not sure if you know about it. I'll put a link into the chat box. He just it's a very well-known company here in Canada. They finance billions of dollars for they also finance Critique as well. So
Her
basically,
company's got a tool called Critique. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have a peer-to-peer learning assessment, and for nonprofit, if you need it for free, let me know. I'm happy to give it to you. I can make a
That
decision.
will be a great help. I must tell that must be a great help. We are really looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you need something for nonprofit, because I verify, I think you are registered a nonprofit now. You said, right? So
Yeah.
if you need a peer assessment, let me know. I'll happy to help any learner who needs peer learning for sure. Just make sure when you reach out to them, just make sure in the chat of Critic you mention my name, and they will reach out to me, and I'll give them the go. But anyway, that's not the story here. The CEO of Passage is Iranian, and they are helping Pakistan children, and one of them just graduated right now from their finance. They are providing basically loan to those students to graduate. So it's a pretty good person to connect with, and if you need an introduction, let me know. That's it. Just put that there. If you want to connect with me, happy to give an introduction. He raised like a lot of billions right now for his new company.
Okay.
And then the
Can I request you to just I've shared my email and my number. I am available on WhatsApp. Can you just connect with me
yeah, I'll do
separately,
that.
because
I'll
I
do that.
would need your help for sure.
Yeah. It's his second company. The first company was not Pakistan but globally. And his mission is to equip all students for education. So I think we are pretty well connected there. Anyway,
Sure.
so you mentioned that you finance the company, and you mentioned transparency as your core in a progress of performance metrics given to the donor and different metrics there. But at the same time, you mentioned that you have 50 people there plus 50 others, which is a cost on the labor of all of them. So nice to be transparent on some aspect of your business, but on the other aspect, there's also like maybe some ROI that could be increase. So so my question is, to shorten, what indicators do you believe are the most important to measure the success of the company? Maybe in terms of academic achievement, digital literacy, community engagement, or what is a long-term empowerment, and why? Why those metrics?
Sure, I can share with you the slide of KPIs, and that will help you understand how do we measure our success. Very quickly again. So these are the KPIs based on which we measure our success. Number one is the students' achievement, and then the enrollment growth, how much we grow in terms of campuses and enrollments. Then organizational collaboration, how many organizations we collaborate with. Then parents and student satisfaction. We do a regular survey with the parents and students to understand their satisfaction, and their staff retention is one of the things. Financial transparency and community engagement. So these are the 7 parameters based on which we measure our success. I hope that answers your questions. We can talk about this in long way. How do we do each of them? But these are the KPI that we focused on.
Yeah, great. That's I joined late, so thanks for sharing again the slide. One, or maybe you missed, you didn't share earlier.
Yeah, before that, I didn't share that yet. Because of the shortage of time, I missed many slides.
Yes, so when I share it with everyone, I think there are a couple that we would all learn a lot from that we just didn't have time for. So I look forward to receiving those, and maybe we can discuss them next week as a class here before our
Yeah.
guest from
Can I share one more slide that might be helpful for those who are looking for the financial contribution? So to establish one school, we just need $5,000. Just $5,000, and one community is served. And then managing a school per month is $500. So this is the cost. That when I say low cost and high impact, so high impact I have already explained to you, but this is the low cost model. Just $5,000, and one school, one community is served. And we do a 50-50% partnership. That means we bear the cost of $5,000 for all the central team expenses, and the partner shares the local campus expenses, and that's how we do the managing the school. So that is what it is.
So we've got
Curtis, sorry, Dr. Topi, I would like to ask, do you know if it's appropriate if I can ask a question to Abba Gupta?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Abba, you are here? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I just searched your profile and then I know you're an expert in the domain, so I wanted to know if you could share your perspective about what feature of the learning environment, I put the question in chat at the same time, physical setup, digital resource, peer interaction, or cultural elements do you consider? And also, I put example there, it can be something else, but what do you consider the most essential for motivating children to learn and remain engaged over time? And in the context of the student in need, and as in the context of what Faisal mentioned, like helping the poor, like sometimes, the students get overwhelmed by their reality and they don't have, the time to engage, a lot of those. So in your expertise, like how do you push students and sustain them to stay engaged.
So we can ask both of them this question.
Yes,
So
Karine.
this is a class question that I was going to, you got my question sort of, but I'm going to phrase it in the second part. What principles are important in creating effective learning environments? I have problem-based learning was one, learning by doing was another, collaboration was a third that Fazil talked about. Are there other things important? So answer Corinne's first, but then as adjunct my question and Fazil, you could as well. So Ava.
And all those three elements you mentioned, Kurt, they're all part of the curriculum. But I think what is really making a difference is making it more meaningful for the learners and relevant to their lives. And so the way it is done is that the children find what they are learning in the curriculum is that something that they can apply and it has relevance. And that is something that I think has really worked, because one of the presentations that one of our advisory committee member, Michelle from Prague University, just recently shared in Sevilla, that was at the ICERI, International Conference of Education, Research and Innovation, and talked about English. English seems to be like the cash for getting upward mobility in that country, and even in India, it's the same thing. But even though it's not so much used in their environment, but they want to learn English. That's a high motivation factor. So motivation is a big factor in learning, and Faisal has just started that ESL program, bringing in English for the learners there, and that seems to be helping them. So again, motivation is a big factor. And another thing we are trying to do is building a core body of research around the project that Faisal is involved in, that we all are involved in. So basically, publishing, presenting our findings, which is not only strengthening the project, but it also makes it far more compelling for potential funders or policymakers or even small enterprises that may want to partner with us. So a strong research base that shows that this is not just a good idea, but it is an evidence-driven model that works and that can be scaled. And I want to mention that, we recently arranged for NASA scientists, because I'm here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, where Langley Air Force Base and NASA Langley is right in my backyard. So we arranged for NASA scientists to give talks to these children and their teachers. And it was not just about rockets and space, but it was to show them that there is no limit to dreaming, and that's a design choice for you students, that we are intentionally shaping an environment where students see themselves as future scientists, explorers, pilots, doctors, leaders. But that is like sky is the limit. So as you're working in this course, I think whether you are wearing the hat of a historian or designer, evaluator, or leader, I would encourage you to think about your projects the way we think about this project doors. Who are our learners? Who are the learners who might otherwise, can get overlooked or can be written off? What environments will give them not just knowledge, but the belief that their lives and futures can expand? So at the end of the day, learning design is not just theory. It's about creating spaces where people can grow in ways that they never imagined. So that's what makes this work very exciting for me.
Before Fazal adds to that, because we all know what he thinks about creating a good learning environment, I'm going to let Garen just add a quick comment in here, as we'll let Fazal think for a second. But Garen, you were with us this morning. You had a great insight. You have another one for us tonight.
Yeah, well, originally I had a question about this great image of, we had this image of this bridge. I forget what the bridge is called. This really had an impact on me. And that it turned, anyway.
The bridge
so the
built
idea
by
is
the
that,
Japanese, right? For the
yeah,
folks.
yeah. So the Japanese made a bridge here in Honduras so that it would stay up during the hurricane. Hurricane came in, and what actually happened is a river moved. So the river was outside the bridge. So it wasn't even under the bridge anymore. The bridge stood, but the river moved. So it was this idea about the changing landscape of education, with the changing landscape of workplace. And I don't work with children. Okay, I work with adults. And I come from military and law enforcement training, airplane pilot training background. So it's a different population. But I think there's a lot that can be learned from understanding how the younger children are being educated. So my question was, we hear a lot about this thing about learning environments or a place where children can dream and grow. Well, we don't rise to our goals, we fall to our habits. And what I understand is that I'm hearing, but I don't hear really articulated as much in these talks, are as much the habits that are woven into our designs, such that we are helping them create the habits that they will fall to, and as they naturally fall to those habits, they will progress towards their goal. So these ideas about people coming in and rising up to get everybody woo 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 ramped up for things, that's great. But then there's the what do you fall back on? And so, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I was just wondering your thoughts on are we focusing a lot on our success on how we create spaces to dream and grow, as opposed to creating systems that build the habits, soft and hard? I think children can still be taught some hard educated learning skills toward, that they're prepared and well positioned for arriving at adulthood and realizing that the river changed.
And
What I was taught at my
systems,
schools are different.
those systems being replicable,
Yes.
and sustainable, and maintainable. Oh, I stopped you. I know you had more to say there. I'm sorry about that. But Fazal,
No.
go back to the first question that Corinne and I were asking Abha. What kind of learning environments are you trying to create? And then answer Garen's question along the way, because it's very similar, because it's about the learning environments that you're creating. And then we'll go to Wing and possibly to Maria to close for tonight with some comments at the end. We don't have much time left. So if you could answer that
First
in
of
a
all,
minute or two. I know you need to leave too. So
yeah, sure. First of all, about the learning environment. So, as I mentioned briefly before, our main focus is to equip them with the latest, competencies, and for that we are not focused on their theoretical knowledge as only. We are providing them with primarily with the learning by doing experiential learning environment. That's why I told you that when they are doing the science, when they're learning science, they're not reading through the books, they are practically doing that. When they're doing the STEM activities or they're doing the community work, they do actually go to the community and resolve the problems over there. They did the beach cleaning, they did the door knocking at the neighborhood and ask for their problems and try to resolve that. These type of things are there. And when they were learning about AI, they were not just learning about as a theory, they were practically doing it. When they were learning about the entrepreneurship, they actually did it to learn that. So that is the crux of our model, that we wanted them to experience that and learn that. And that is why the youth that were in the same community, we were providing them with the global skills, AI based skills, so that they can be a practical earner and learner over there. That is about the learning environment that we are creating over there. And that is again based on deeply researched content that we are providing. It is not just anything that we are providing, it's a deeply researched content that we are providing to them. And regarding Garen's question,
right.
So one thing that I want to share, I believe you are ex-military as well. I am ex-Navy. I have spent my 30 years of life in Navy, so that's my background. So maybe we connect through that as well. Anyway, regarding regarding providing them the opportunities and providing them the environment to learn and grow the way they want, that is exactly what we are doing. Just sharing with you one thing that we have implemented. We have once in a month students day. That students day is an opportunity for a student to design their own learning. What do they want? We become the facilitator, the whole system become the facilitator, and students say that today I want to do this, today I want to play this game, today I want to have this conversation. We bring the guest speakers in that day. We We bring different Kahoot quizzes or different things, whatever they want to learn. If some question, student asks the question, how rain happens, so then we show them the video of the whole water cycle. So they ask and then we deliver. That is the total format of that particular day. So that is how we are creating the environment where they are inquisitive, when they are exploring the world and they are doing it the way they want.
And I'll mention that Google has 20% time where employees can work on whatever they want 1 day a week. Schools have adopted it. Daniel Pink talked about it, and so some schools call it pink time learning, where the students get 1 day a week to work on any project they want. You talk about 1 day a month to design whatever they want. It's a similar concept. Empowering people, give them autonomy, right? Give them let them make their own projects, artifacts. So relevance and meaningfulness, which Abha talked about. Those are among the principles that are effective here. Wing and Maria had questions that are remaining. So Wing, you've got a couple of them. Why don't you pick one important one out, and we'll let Fazal and Abha try and answer it.
Thanks, Professor. Okay, I think I would want to thank Faisal for this, the meaningful, impactful work that you're doing, and also congrats to you for the PhD you just got 2 months ago.
Oh, and you two may have met in Singapore last year. She was at the conference you were at, so you
that's
met.
what I was thinking. Which I've seen her. We were there.
Conference. Yep. Yeah, I have a question. Earlier you shared about the team, the global team, the local team you have. Okay, I was wondering, I mean, the background of your team members, and also whether you have international volunteers that, if they work overseas, some foreign country, do they need some kind of visa or, work permit to work there?
Well, regarding the international team, I will leave it to Abha, and Abha, as she is the head of the international advisory committee. Abha, you can explain about who is attached with us at the higher level, then I'll come to the volunteers and the local team. Please, Abha.
Yes, yeah, at the international level, so we have advisors and members in the committee from Africa and from Europe, from like Czech Republic, I just mentioned, Michelle, who has been very active, and there's Dr. Leah Lee, who is here from Korea working in Virginia. So we have this wide range of members who are providing, and actually I need to work on getting together a meeting soon, because I haven't done that and I need to be doing that. But they have been involved in terms of doing research and presentation, like I said, and contributing to that.
Thank you, Abha. And after that, after the team of advisors, then we have directors in Australian non-profit entity, Pakistan non-profit entity, and then we have subject matter experts and volunteers from all over the world. Now, coming to your question, how do we get the visa and all that issues resolved? This is where the magic of technology jump in. You know what? After establishing this whole concept, the first school in 2021, I met my team of, at that time, 25 people after 2 years. I never met them in person, my own team. In Pakistan, I met them after 2 years when I went back to Pakistan. I never met them. That is where the magic of. So we are all digitally connected. The whole concept of central team is that we don't have any office, nothing. We are all digitally connected. That's it. We don't need visa for digital connections.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Maria, did you have a question that wasn't answered yet? Oh, you're muted, Maria, but we'll try and read your lips. You have to unmute.
Okay, now it's good. Okay. So the questions that I posted were for the most part answered, but I have one question. So the schools that you've opened, sounds like some of them were in the areas or are in the areas that were historically not in favor of education, or especially in the women's education. Did you ever have any resistance? Did you ever meet any resistance from local government? Did you have to get an approval from local government when you open those institutions?
That is a very interesting question, and we had the same assumption. We have the same myth when we were entering this arena. And interestingly, the schools, the design of the schools that we are providing, because in those rural areas, remote areas, or even urban slums, what we are doing is that we are providing education at their doorstep. So it is not that they're opposed to girls' education. It is about the security and social and cultural aspects that they don't send normally. Okay, so when the school is at their doorstep, one lane or two lane behind them, a teacher is from their own community, and the local partner that we have, they is from their own communities. So it is a very secure environment for the families to send, especially their girls. That is why we have 70% girls in our system. That's today I think about that. That's a real amazing achievement that I must say that, because initially we had the same concept that how we will cater for this cultural problem, especially for girls. And now today we can see that we have created an environment for them where a parent can comfortably send their girls to the school.
Yes, I applaud you for that. That's amazing.
So there's a book called Stones from Stones to Schools, and also 3 Cups of Tea, written by a
Yeah.
mountain climber who fell down a mountain in Pakistan area on the border. I forget what country it borders with. And he found his way, he got himself back up and walked into a village in Pakistan and Afghanistan. It was on the Afghan border.
Yeah.
There you go, that book there. And it talks about the dire need for schools, especially for young girls in those countries. And he created a nonprofit that people helped him create a lot of schools in Afghanistan, in particular in northern, eastern area of Afghanistan, I believe, and as well as in some in Pakistan. And so, yeah, you're doing something very similar to that. It was very inspirational. Maybe you need to write a book like that and that created a lot of funds. People, military, not military generals, the generals' wives read the book, and they made the U.S. military aware of it, and funding came from many other places. But their wives were sitting around, or their spouses, I should say, their husbands or wives who weren't working full time, where everyone was reading these books and passing them around and saying, "Isn't this great?" When we were in Afghanistan at the time. Anyhow. I recommend that both books highly. And Fazil, when you write the book with Abha and John, I'll recommend your book as well. So I've
Yeah.
enjoyed having you with us tonight. Do either you want to have a final comment for 10 seconds or 15 seconds before I make a final comment?
How about you go?
I just want to tell the class, the students, I mean, you have such wonderful students and they're asking such deep and really relevant questions. And it's making us think. And I would love to hear more from them, what suggestions they have for the project, because I'm sure they're coming with fresh ideas. And some of them they've already shared. And I was taking notes as they were talking. But I also want to tell the students that, they're very fortunate to have Professor Kurt as teacher, and not because you have paid me anything to say this, Kurt, but because I think they get to witness this exciting and innovative projects from around the world through Silver Lining for Learning podcasts. And I have loved listening to some of those podcasts. So I think this is just very exciting. And I do want to finally thank, Faisal Badr, whose incredible energy, dedication, and passion has allowed this initiative to persevere and grow despite so many obstacles and challenges. And he's a true leader and a role model, showing what it means to make a real difference in the lives of those without a voice.
And switching careers, just like the people this morning I had on a show, were financial people who their company was bought out. They made enough money to retire, and they decided to start schools the rest of their lives and work on innovative schools. So similar to you, having worked in the military for nearly 30 years or whatever in the Navy, and then changing. Fazal, your final comment.
Yes, first of all, Abba, thank you for your kind words. It's not me, it's us, it's the whole team, the team that you lead, and we all make it happen. As I told you, financially, morally, motivation wise, and all the intellectual acumen that we have, it's a collective thing. Thank you for that. And Kurt, for you, yes, you are always an inspiration. Whenever I meet you, when I talk to you, it gives me a positive energy all the time. Thank you for that. Thank you for arranging this session with the class. And thank you all the class members for joining and listening to our story and appreciating and asking so many questions, very good questions that helps me expand to newer lands and thinking about different directions. And you are all welcome to join this mission. I have shared my link with you. I have my contact details with you, my WhatsApp, my Hotmail, or the the website is at present under restructuring, so maybe you will find a new look of the website in coming days. But you're always welcome to join me and join us in this mission. It's a universal mission. It's an open mission for all of us.
So Randy reminds us that she met you in Japan as well as Singapore at ICCE and at the eLearn conferences. So you have run
Oh,
into a
really?
couple
Thank
people
you.
here. You're becoming a celebrity of sorts, you know. Uh, and I'll remind my students, this is week 4 of R622. We don't have any readings this week. All we have this week is to watching podcast shows from Silver Lining for Learning, including this with these people. Fazal Abba and John Mason were on a show a year and a half ago, approximately a year ago, and also the people from this morning with Beyond 8 Schools. So they're both in the list for this week. So you can, if you want to learn more, just watch. Those are the videos that you should watch. Again, thank you for coming in here and enlightening us tonight and telling us a little bit about the secret sauce, a little bit about the ingredients that are going into your program so that we can think about our midterm projects and our final projects and the principles, concepts, ideas that they can embed in both their development of maybe an innovative learning environment as well as critiques of existing learning environments, which is both important, evaluative skills and generative skills. We should do a little love. Anyone wants to put their camera on? We'll do a little love and get a snapshot on the count of 3. Maybe you can make a heart or do like this, but whoever would like to, I'll do a 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Can I, sorry, before you can disconnect, can I just offer one thing that for your midterm project or final year project or any placement sort of thing, I offer the platform to all of your students. They can create anything based on whatever we have.
Send it to us. Let's try this love again because how about you were just doing, try it again. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, everyone. Great, thank you, thank you. Have a great night, have a great morning. It's great to see all of you for this one. It went long, so you know there's a lot of questions here. Bye-bye, everyone. We got more.
Okay, take care, bye. And
see you next
hope
time.
to connect with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Thank you, Arpita. Thank you, Alicia. Good to see you, Alicia.